This is FightFans Radio.
What's up? Every time you hear that drum roll, you know what time it is.
Yep.
So, welcome to another lovely episode of BJJ Addict Radio, brought to you by FightFans Radio, the #1 leading source for radio shows. Google it. It might be true, it might not. It doesn't matter, because that's my thoughts. I'm here with always Jerowell.
Hello.
P, my main man here. What's up, Jer?
Oh, just living the life.
Oh, wait, I introduced you and myself, David Carroll, a.k.a. Real DWC,
Yeah.
That's it. I got my own sandwich, guys, so remember that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's true. So, let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. I was in Boston. I had BJJF Boston Open. I was, in the words of, jiu-jitsu's out there, sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail. I happen to be the nail this week. I got subbed very quickly. I got over it fairly quick. Like, I was down, and then, I said, I can't ruin this whole day now. I watched some black belt matches later on in the day. It was sick. JT Torres, DJ Jackson, Rafael Barbosa there from Iga, Augusta Mendez and his girlfriend, Mackenzie Dern was there. Rick Hahn, who's who? Lord Irvin. I mean,
Wilson
honestly,
Hayes.
Wilson Hayes. Oh my God, you're the idol. I met him. Unreal.
Very jealous.
Pete Roberts, the man. So it was a cool time. Everyone was out there and watching some sick matches. Good times, anyways. JB_603 Jake Bryan. Shout out to you, Kurt Cummings. We trained with these guys out in New Hampshire before. He came out and cornered me and the rest of my teammates. So thanks to Impact Zone and the Drysdale affiliates out in New Hampshire. So guys, check those guys out. Episode 2, I believe, also for the podcast radio show. So yeah, man, check them out. What have you been up to? How's your weekend?
Busy.
Yeah,
Very busy.
were you aware that? Did you see the results at all for the Boston Open?
Yeah, I saw a couple, yeah.
Yeah, so, if no one knows, actually, JT Torres in the open weight class, the absolutes, he came second to Formiga, which is Rafael Barbosa, but they actually didn't end up fighting people out there. If you're wondering if JT lost, he suffered a concussion and had to not continue.
How'd that happen, anyway?
He actually got dropped on my head. I got footage of it. We're going to put it out, tomorrow or the next. I keep saying that since I have the footage, but, it's about less than a week old, so it's still relevant. Yeah, we're going to put it out. We got all his matches, all Wilson Hayes. Hasn't competed in 2 years, by the way. Came back, got gold in his division.
Wait, competed in 2 years?
For grappling.
Didn't he compete at the, what do you call it?
Yeah, he did, sorry. But for gi, I believe. That's what he meant.
He didn't do Nogi?
No, it was only a gi tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't have the 2-in-1 days usually, ever.
Yeah.
For IBJJF.
It's too long.
Yeah. It was crazy. So, a lot of footage, a lot of matches. Going to put those out. And that's about it, man. I learned a beer bolo finally. Maybe I shouldn't because that's all I'm going to obsess about now. And I loved it.
It's flashy.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
It's going to change your life.
I can't wait.
So on today's episode, we have Chris Brennan, the West Side Strangler. He was supposed to be on last week. There was a little mishap, but no big deal. We got him on this week. He'll be calling in very soon. We already went over what we're gonna ask him and how excited we are. So,
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, man.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, you get that
man.
anticipation. But
I think last episode was like a pre-warm up.
Yeah, exactly. Just
a warm up interview.
So I was drinking my coffee there. Yeah. So what else did you do this weekend, just for the people at home listening?
I did circuit on my own.
Really?
Yeah.
I
went to the gym and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
I actually did it.
Did it?
It was like
Now, did you do a complex? Do you know what that is? A complex?
I have no idea.
It's kind of like you do any type of weight cut. So you do like 5 squats with a bar, and then 5 rows, and 5 snatches, 5 presses. Do you know fives and fives?
Actually, the ones I was doing was explosive movements, like 5. I don't know, maybe like a couple things. You work your legs, you work your shoulders, your chest, your biceps.
Like a full body,
yeah,
good workout.
Yeah, it was like explosive cardio.
How did that feel?
Yeah, I'm sore.
Yeah, still.
My neck is sore from wrestling like last week.
How did that go, by the way?
It was the most painful. It was like because wrestling season's starting now.
Okay.
So they're intensifying like the cardio.
Yeah.
And like the strength. So we were doing double legs literally for like 2 hours, like
That's
combos.
Nuts. That's nuts.
So.
Speaking of that, wrestling season, does that mean you perhaps might go out and do a wrestling tournament? Is it an option even? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because you get automatically, I think, become like one of the, what do you call that? Like an organization kind of thing.
Yeah. You become a member
yeah.
once you train at this certain facility? Or?
Yeah. So I want to do one just to see what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully win. Hopefully lose, whatever.
Either way, at least you get to compete in the sport.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, but there is one thing. I don't know if you've ever played around with it. It's called a Jacob's Ladder.
Unreal.
Have you ever done that?
I have heard about it.
Yo,
I want to do it. I heard it's the hardest cardio.
It's ridiculous. I was on it for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The first minute, I was like, "Oh my god, this is hard."
Yeah.
Because it's just pretty much a
continuous ladder.
Yeah, you can't climb faster than, you know.
The faster you go, the faster the ladder goes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like,
it's unreal.
It works your legs, like literally your ass muscle. Like, I feel it.
Yeah.
And cardio, like, it's unreal.
Yeah, I've heard. I'm gonna do it. I can't wait.
Yeah. It's like a treadmill, but not really.
Yeah, there's a what's it called? Like a forced treadmill. It's kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
Pretty badass workout. This Saturday, Montreal Open IBJJF tournament.
What?
Yeah, Montreal, September 1st.
Saturday?
September 1st. So I'm signed up to that. Get out there, compete again, gaining a lot of experience. We'll see what's up, man. It's gonna be a fun time. And speaking of this, I just popped into my head the Kimura trap system by I believe it's David Avalon. Maybe we get him on the show one day to talk more about it. I mean, he's been everywhere. These videos have been popping up everywhere. Anybody who follows BJJ has seen these damn videos up lately. Kimura trap series, and he's got testimonials from people that are world renowned, good. And they're saying this is legit. Basically, bless you. No. Basically, we've all seen certain movements or moves like this, but he's connected all the dots to make a sequence that never ends.
Yeah.
That always gets you back to finishing a sub. Yeah, not only a Kimura, but, Kimura to back. If your favorite thing is like armbar, he'll show you ways to get Kimura all the way to get your armbar in certain positions that you like. So it's like a very complete system. Back to the feet if that's what you want, or, on side control. But basically, it's also to get a lot more finishes and to smash wrestlers. So I've been seeing a lot.
Wrestlers? What does this mean?
Oh,
what does this mean?
You lit up. You're like, never. No, but seriously, I'm interested in a bit. I like the Kimura game. I think we talked about this before, man. And we'll have to ask, Mr. Brennan coming on, King of the Kimura.
Yeah.
What he thinks about this. I'm sure he's seen it. And, I'm sure some of it he's been doing for a long time. I mean, there's only in my head, I don't know. I haven't seen the whole DVD series, but how many things can you do? I don't know. Maybe like 100. I'm not sure. Maybe more. But this guy came out with like a 6-set DVD on this Kimura trap. So it's a whole system, by the way. It's a system. So I don't know if that makes it more important or what. I'm not sure. So
who has 180 Kimura?
Dan Guillemette.
Yeah.
A black belt we know out there. Good guy. Yeah, he has a big sequence of Kimura. So, and I mean, that's almost a system. So,
yeah.
I mean, I wonder how far off could it be. I saw some moves I've seen before, but like, obviously this guy is the highest level.
Yeah.
He's done like 4 ADCCs. He's been in the game a long time. Let's put it that way.
How old is he?
He's not that old.
Huh.
I mean, ADCC trials and stuff. He's done the actual Abu Dhabis at least twice for sure, like the main ones, a couple of years, because it's every 2 years, so 4 would be a long time, but he's done a lot. And, he's beat some of the best, Zonde Ribeiro.
What?
Yeah, like, his list is very good, like, high credentials. We'll have to have him on sometime. His story is ridiculous. He never had any formal training. You know what I'm saying? Like, no formal training. Like, he quit and just trained with his brother on his own.
What?
All he had was, like, 3 years of high school wrestling. I'm telling you, it's a cool story. So we'll have to get him on and hear from him.
Pretty interested.
Yeah, he's like, you don't need to learn from anyone. He's like, you hustle hard and keep drilling, and like you'll catch on to stuff. And he did a lot of competitions and learned the hard way. He said,
yeah,
cool story though. But like me personally, if I never had a coach or someone to learn from, I would not excel ever.
You think?
Honestly, I would think, because I've watched YouTube videos at the start of my training. And nothing made sense. The easiest move made no damn sense to me.
Good point. Because when I didn't know...
You didn't know what? What didn't you know? That's bullshit. No.
Well, I still don't know a lot of stuff. But when I first started jiu-jitsu, I didn't know much. So I relied a lot on like YouTube and stuff like that. But I find now, I'm not using YouTube as much. Or I can't remember the last time I logged onto YouTube and watched like...
Yeah, the last thing I watched was a Berimbolo. And I couldn't grasp it from watching the video.
Yeah. Because
it was too complicated for me. But, I learned in person. It's a lot easier. That's what I'm saying. So there's some things out there. Like, how the hell... He said, like, I'm watching UFC. I'm picking things up. I'm reading magazines. You know how they have the pictures, step-by-step, books, renting DVDs or buying them or whatever, and learning like that. It's still very hard. Because in person, you feel it properly, so it makes a big difference. Weight distribution. He was just freestyling it all and figured it all out.
What?
And it made it that high level.
Oh, it's like Eddie Bravo's system, right?
But
not as
this one. He's saying like this move is overlooked. I wanted to talk about this with we're gonna talk about it soon. This is one thing I really want to talk to him about before I even thought of this. Kimura Trap series was with him, like how overlooked is the Kimura?
Because I haven't seen a lot of Kimuras happen like MMA fights.
Yeah, and then like I hear people don't believe in him, and like I don't know why. So I like he's like, he's been doing Kimura longer than most of us actually been training. So
Frank Mir got Kimura on what's his name?
Nogueira. That was the dirtiest. That was the best sub, I think, in MMA history, to me.
Yeah.
That was hands down, that was the best.
He broke his arm.
I like it, because, classic mirror face after was like, you should have known better. Like, it was effortless. He just he said he just took a deep breath in, because he knew he was about to break his arm, Takes a deep breath, and just, like, it's unreal.
Did he do it?
Yeah, that's what he said, just like.
Because he knew it was finished.
Yeah, like. I'm sorry, I would have tapped way before that break, personally. Nogueira's a warrior.
I would have kept punching him in the face.
I hear you, but when you hear sub of the night or a title shot on the line for a spectacular finish, your head gets clouded.
Frank Mir has the same coach as us for BJJ.
Yes.
Drysdale.
Yes. So he gets to train with him a lot more often than us.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Very.
Speaking of Frank Mir, he's jumping over to the Strike Force to take on Cormier. Thoughts? What do you got?
I think he's gonna sub him for sure.
Really?
No. Yeah, Frank Mir's gonna sub him.
Wow.
I think it's the experience, man. Honestly. Like,
what about your dick riding wrestling ways and Cormier's level of wrestling?
So. What's the point?
Yeah.
This is MMA, man. Anything happens.
That's true. So you call him Frank Mir?
Yeah.
I'm also calling Frank Mir.
Plus, his last fight was against Dos Santos, right?
Mir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, against the best ever.
He's coming off a title fight, so.
Yeah. Now, remember you made up your stat about the...
Yo.
After every title fight, they lose usually?
This is my theory. Every time... It's not 100%.
It's like 9 out of 10 since you mentioned it way back.
Because every time a fighter fights in the... for a championship, like for the belt, if they lose that fight, they'll lose another fight right after. Like, I'll give you an example right off the bat here. Give me one.
Jake Shields.
Jake Shields. Wait, yeah, and then
Dan Hardy.
Yeah, and then he won. Okay, Dan Hardy, GSP.
Yeah.
He lost.
Then he lost immediately
again.
And lost again. But like
Jake Shields got knocked out by Jake Ellenberger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's his name? Jose Aldo versus Canadian fighter Mark Hominick.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he got knocked out.
TKZ, the Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
Yo, I just thought of a nickname for you, the Filipino Zombie.
What?
Do you like it? You know what's better, actually? Because the zombie thing's played out, but, you know, the Filipino Vampire. Never been out, but it's still on that trend. Vampires are popular. I think the ladies would be like, all Twilight with you. We can make you sparkle when you hit the sun.
Yeah.
Be really sick.
Filipino Vampire.
Do you feel it or not?
I like the Filipino Zombie.
Nah, it's too played out. The PV, man.
PV.
TPV. The Filipino Vampire.
What
Do you hear people chanting? TPV. TPV. The Filipino Vampire.
TF, actually.
What?
Sir, it's F, Filipino.
Oh my god.
Philippines is P.
The Filipino Vampire? So it'd be F.
Yeah.
F.
TFP.
TFP. I apologize for my ignorance.
Yeah, no, I just caught on to it too. I was like,
oh, classic.
We'll work on that nickname.
Yeah, we'll work on me knowing the difference about people's cultures too.
Here's a history book.
Yeah, everyone out there, if you didn't know, now you know. Just because they're from the Philippines and they're Filipino, it changes letters.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I feel dumb right now.
Sorry.
Like I need a dunce cap on right now.
Sorry.
You know what a dunce cap is?
I have no idea.
It's like a big triangle cap, like a wizard. It looks like a wizard's cap, but they used to put it on kids back in the day when they were stupid.
Oh,
in class,
yeah,
they put a dunce cap on.
I remember.
Yeah, so like, hook me up with the dunce cap. I'll wear it for the rest of this radio show. Anyways, moving on from that embarrassing moment here. Today, you know, I did some jiu-jitsu and trained some more. I did about like almost 2.5, 3 hours today. It was awesome.
2.5?
Yeah. Worked some extra after.
Oh.
And it was magical, man. I don't know if you've ever seen a unicorn, but it's magical.
I've never seen a unicorn.
Due to the lack of help from the Twitter nation, we are canceling bad BJJ jokes this week.
Yeah, seriously. You
guys suck. We throw it out there with a hashtag even.
And we have some good ones that we want
and
to share.
people like laugh at it. Oh, hello?
Hello?
How you doing?
Good, it's Chris Brennan.
Hello, sir.
Nice. Thank you very much for joining us on BJJ Addict Radio.
What's happening? Sorry, I couldn't find the number. I had to dig through my emails from last week to find the phone number to call, and I've been emailing you for the last 15 minutes.
It's all good, man. We're just happy you're on the show.
Sweet.
So
we're live?
We are live.
Awesome.
You can don't worry about profanity. I mean, it's all right if you swear. There's no censors, so in case it's out, don't feel bad.
I don't cuss.
Yeah, all right. Before we get into we got a bunch of questions for you. I was actually curious if you have seen the new Kimura trap system that's been all over the internet. Since you are the king of the Kimura, I wonder if you saw this.
I've seen it. I hadn't seen it, but people kept telling me about it for like a week and a half to check out the thread on the underground. So I finally went over there and looked at it, and I don't know, man. You know, I posted on it, and David or Marcus or whichever one it was, I don't know their names, David and something, but he got all butthurt that I had said something about it. But he had mentioned, or someone mentioned my name, and he had said that his stuff was on a different level. And that sort of pissed me off. So, yeah, I responded, and then he got all upset about it, so I just deleted all my stuff off there. But, you know, for the videos that he posted as his little teasers, it's all shit that I've seen a million times, that I've shown a million times, that everybody else that's seen my stuff had seen. And he was talking about how everything was so different and so new. Well, you would think if you were going to do something like that, your little teaser video would actually be something different that people could see that you are actually doing something different instead of the same thing. Because everything he showed on everyone, like my 10-year-old won a tournament this weekend with the stuff he was showing on the video, a Kimura from the single leg. He was I don't know, whatever. They're both good grapplers from what I've seen before, but I don't watch people's instructional. I've never even sat down and watched my own, so I don't know if they're good teachers or if the stuff's different or if it's the same. I don't care. I know my Kimura shit is really good.
Correct. You have your DVDs out, and you're the 10-finger guillotine. Just let people know out there what your DVDs are called so they could go get them right now if they don't have them already.
Yeah, the Kimura DVD is the King of the Kimura. It's at budovideos.com, and so is my guard passing, my sweeps, and my 10-finger guillotine. And they're all like within the last 2 years, and they're good, man. They sold really well, and I get emails and calls and stuff about people that have watched them and been able to apply them while training and stuff, because they're pretty simple basics as I teach it. I'll break it down pretty simple for them so it's applicable for anybody. Like I said, my 10-year-old won this weekend with a Kimura when someone tried to single leg him. Same one I did it in Pride Bushido 1, basically the same thing. That was back in 2002 or something. I don't know if Avalin's watching that or not.
When you see one of your students pull off something that you actually done a decade ago, kind of following in your footsteps.
What's that?
I said, how did it feel when you saw a student of yours actually emulate something that you've done over a decade ago and win with it?
Oh, it was awesome. My students have been doing that stuff for a while now. They all kind of implement my game. It was my son who actually did it this weekend, so it was even more cool to see it because he's 10 years old. I have a 10 and 12-year-old boy who've been terrorizing Texas, and they've only been training now for like 10 months, 9 or 10 months. So their style is just like mine, and it's pretty exciting to watch.
That's awesome. So starting off for you, I read, you watch the UFC, you go to California, or you start training there, correct? How was it learning from Royce Gracie?
It was awesome. I was with him for quite a while, and had been, I think, just the first 3 UFC stuff. When I first started training, I was actually training with Chemo, and when I saw Royce beat Chemo, I was sold. I was like, man, he's a monster, and I've seen him just crush me in the gym. So I want to learn what this little dude knows, and that's what got me training with him. And we became pretty good friends. Like, I was like the only guy in the school who would ask him questions. Everyone had him on such a pedestal, which was cool. I mean, he was awesome back then. He was. I thought the same thing, but I had the balls to ask him every day, like, who is the hardest guy to punch you? Who is your toughest fight? Who is whatever? And everyone else would always sit back and let me ask the questions because they're scared to ask him. And in my eyes, I wanted to be what he was doing. I wanted to be a pro. I wanted to have those fights, and the best way to do it is to pick his brain about it. So I wasn't afraid to ask. It was cool to learn from him, but we were good buddies as well.
Nice. That inspires you to take an 11-month trip to Brazil. How crazy was it?
It was awesome. I had trained a little bit with a guy that taught for Hickson in Orange County where I lived, and I told him I wanted to go to Brazil. When I started training, there wasn't a ton of guys to train with, and classes were 10 people and whatnot, and they were the same 10 people. So he had told me that his brother teaches at a place in Brazil, that he let him know if I wanted to come down there. So he did, and man, I bought a plane ticket, took 4 duffel bags full of clothes, and flew by myself. Went down there. I never even made contact with him before I went. He just let them know I was coming, and I walked into the gym with 4 duffel bags, and the guys were like, where's your friends? What you brought with you? I was like, I came by myself, and I pulled up a sheet and a pillow and slept on the mats for 11 months. I lived out of a locker, and woke up in the morning and trained, went to the beach all day and ran and swam, came back, had a private, and then trained again in the evening. I did it every day for a year.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow.
I got good.
Do you think anyone who does BJJ still has to go to Brazil, or is North America caught up where you don't have to do South America anymore, or is it still a must-do?
No, I think you definitely do not have to go now. I mean, it's proven there's so many good guys now in the United States, and I mean, it's obvious there's great guys in Brazil. There's probably a larger talent pool to pull from at each school. You know, there's probably even you may have 10 good purple belts or blue belts at your school or whatnot, but you go down there and every school is full of top guys, you know, and lots of black belts. And so there's definitely more training partners in one school, I'd imagine. But you definitely don't have to go. The talent's here now. The knowledge is here. Like, you know, I went down there as a blue belt, you know, 1995 and 96, and I've made it on my own since then. You know, I didn't have an instructor from purple belt on, and you know, that had to do with my athleticism, my willing to learn and wanting to be, you know, the best. I wanted to be great at whatever it was I was doing. So you know, you can do it without going down there for sure. It's just fun to go down there.
Nice. From purple belt on. So who ended up belting you?
I got my black belt from John De La Ho, who was a Hailstone Gracie black belt, but Frangina Miller, you know, Frangina, the owner of Paragon, he basically signed for me for my IBJJF license and stuff.
That's a big signature.
What's that?
I said that was a big signature.
Yeah, for sure. He's, but he was, like, I've known him since I was in Brazil. He was down there when I was there, and then came to the United States later on and opened Paragon and stuff, and we go way back, and he knows, you know, that I was a legitimate black belt. I called to get my IBJJF certification, like, what are you under? And since he wasn't through them, they wouldn't do it, and they started giving me a hard time, and I was like, they're like, you have to have someone sign, and I asked, I won't name who, but I asked someone else how to go about it. They wanted $5,000 to do it, so basically I was buying my black belt, and I was like, well, fuck that, you know, I already paid for the last 18 years of training, I'm not gonna pay for my belt as well when you know damn well I'm a black belt. So he just did it for me.
What's your BJJ affiliation now?
My own, man. My Next Generation MMA school, I've been open since March of '98, right after my first UFC fight. I opened my first school, and now we have schools two in Texas, California, Ireland, England, Canada, and Arizona. And I'm the founder, the owner of that, and everyone like teaches. They're all my students who are the instructors there. I've had my black belt for 12 years. I've given out 5 black belts. That's it.
That's unreal. You just said Next Generation MMA. Where's the headquarters? I mean, I know, but for the people listening that might want to come down and train with you.
Frisco, Texas. I'm here every day. You know, I teach all the jiu-jitsu classes except for 2. I teach the kids class. I teach the adult, beginner, everything. I teach the MMA classes. I teach, I think, 25 classes a week. And I'm here full time. And I teach the kids class because my kids are in the class, and I don't want anyone teaching my kids but me. But you know, maybe a couple of years when they're out of the class, I might not. They might be teaching the kids class, you know. But yeah, I'm here full time. We have like the best staff you could possibly ask for in Texas, let alone, you know, the United States. I teach full time the jiu-jitsu. Saxon Janjira, who's like one of the best Muay Thai guys there are in the United States, teaches our Muay Thai, and Kendall Cross, who's an Olympic gold medalist, coaches our wrestling. So we have all 3 aspects, all 3 styles covered as far as instruction and quality of instruction goes here. It's crazy.
Nice. So what made you so attracted to the Nogi style? As far, was it the MMA fighting? Did you just?
No, I can tell you what day it happened, man. I was trained at the Gracie Academy. I already didn't like the gi, but I loved jiu-jitsu. And the first day, Royce came in one day, and I was a blue belt. There was a couple of purple and brown belts who were real good. And Royce came in and said, "Everyone, take off your gi tops. Let's go with just open hand slaps and roll." So I did it, and man, all the guys who were tapping me out as purple and brown belts when I was a blue belt. I smoked them. You know, I literally, it was easy for me. I made it like, I don't know, like I just loved it. The second I started doing it, I was like, holy crap, all the handles that they're grabbing on aren't there. And I was able to pretty much just do whatever I wanted with the guys at that time. And I went home that day and I was like, you know, that's for me. And I was like, I'm not going to wear a gi when I fight. I'm not Royce. And if I'm not going to wear a gi when I fight, I need to figure out how to be great at this stuff without the gi on. And what everyone tells you you need to train in the gi to be good at Nogi is bullshit. It's a sales pitch because it makes them money. There's no possible way that all the handles and all the things that you use by holding on can help you when it's all gone. You know, your game is twice as fast and loose without the gi, so you need to figure out how to tighten it up without the gi. If anything, if you have a tight no-gi game, that might tighten up your gi game because now you have all the cloth and stuff to hold on to. But I had to create all new handles, all new holds, all new, you know, escapes and ways to control and slow the game down without the gi. And it took me a long time, and I kind of have my own style. You know, that's how the Kimura and all that came involved because that arm control not only finished with the Kimura, but I used it to get positions, to control my opponent, to do all sorts of things with it. So that was a day, man. From that point on, I trained in the gi because I had to while I watched classes and learned how to teach because that's what I wanted to do more than fight, man. I wanted to teach. I wanted to open schools and I wanted to teach. But I knew I wanted to fight as my business card, basically. You know, I wanted to fight for advertisement. I wanted to fight to sell what I was selling, basically. Just same thing Royce did. You know, he fought in UFC to make their school blow up, and it did. So I did the same thing. And funny story, my last day at the Gracie Academy, this guy Sam Rand, who was the manager of the academy, I told him I was gonna, you know, I was leaving, and sooner or later I was gonna open my own school. He said, "Chris Brennan Jiu-Jitsu, fuck me." He goes, "Who would train? Who's gonna go there?" Well, here I am now with thousands of students later at you know 7, 8 schools. I found some people to train with me.
That's a good thing to hear, and of course, I mean, you had a good business card, all your footage of fights and live competitions. When is the last time you did put on a gi, though?
Well, about 4 months ago, I put one on for a picture because I had 2 guys training in the gi here, and I still had a gi, so I ran out there kind of in a joking way and took a picture, and they laughed, and then everyone posted it all over the internet. I thought it was funny, but I actually trained in one. It's probably been 13 years. I probably did it as a 13 or 14 years. I think as a purple belt, I put it on once or twice just for the hell of it, but I never trained actively in it since blue belt.
So, seeing all your success now, if BJJ or MMA wasn't in your life, what do you think you'd be doing at this moment?
Oh man, I'd be in big trouble. You know, I was definitely going, not so much like going down the wrong path, like drugs and whatnot, just going down the wrong path. I was a bodybuilder. I was fighting all the time. Without knowing how to fight, just as I thought I was a tough guy. I thought I was twice as tough as a bodybuilder as I do now, knowing that I am that tough now. You know, I was just not a good person. You know, it's definitely changed me as a person for sure. And you know, it hurt me too. You know, once I started fighting and doing well and people noticing me and shit, I took things for granted that I should not have taken for granted that I don't anymore. You know, learned my lesson and humbled me up a bit. And I can't imagine, you know, what would have happened to me if I was a GSP or a Tito or someone like that, because coming from what I came from to where I am now was enough, you know, but to go to where they are, I can't even imagine what would have happened to me. I'd have lost everything for sure.
Speaking of, you know, changing your life and stuff, since it did work out the way it did, how was it like fighting in the mid-90s?
It was awesome. You know, I mean, I have fights with no gloves. You know, we fought before gloves. I have fights with 30-minute time limit as one round. Like me and Militich fought for a half an hour, one round. Another one for 20 minutes, one round. It was different for sure. I better, you know, less rules. I was just going to post something on the Underground yesterday because I was watching some Best of Pride that was on TV. And not just for the Pride fighters, but today in the UFC, if knees to the head on the ground were legal, there would be different winners of a lot of fights. Not every fight, but there are positions. There's been fights where guys have a guy up against the fence standing over them, leaning against them while they're sitting on their ass against the fence. And man, it would change a lot of outcomes to fights. You know, I was watching Henzo and Dan Henderson, and I love Henzo, and he's one of my favorite fighters. But man, he ended up in a bad position and got kneed a couple times. It just changed the tune of that fight. And back then, like, we fought in Guam with Pride and UFC rules combined. You could soccer kick, you could head stomp, you could throw elbows, and it was so unorganized. They said, well, what kind? They're asking us for rules. What do you guys want for in between rounds? So we asked for a 2-minute break between rounds, and they gave it to us. And it was so long, you basically were like, if you were in shape, you're ready to go in 45 seconds, you know. And so we're basically sitting around like, okay, now we're ready to go, and they hadn't even restarted the rounds yet. It was almost too long, but yeah, it was fighting back then. The rules were awesome. Fighting multiple times in one night was awesome. Like my first UFC fight was 2 times in one night, and it's just stuff that you can't do now because everyone else is so good. Like, can you imagine Frankie and Ben Henderson fighting like they did the other night, and then 20, 30 minutes later come out and fight again? Like, no way, you know. Everyone's so good now, they're either getting knocked out quick or it's going so long because everyone counters everything, and the style is like, it's not very exciting to me anymore to watch a lot of the fights just because I feel like I'm watching the same fights over and over again. Everyone's fighting to get off the ground, to get back to the feet and swing. Everyone's fighting to get off the ground, to get back to the feet and swing. And it's over and over and over again. They fight for their life not to get taken down. And fine, but when you see world champion jiu-jitsu black belts doing that, you know, and stand and swing until their face is bloody, and then they start trying for takedowns. Well, they're too fucking tired for takedowns now. You know, you can't even show what you're good at now because you're too tired to get there. You know, if you want to take a guy down and do your thing and it doesn't work out, and you end up back on your feet, that's one thing. But fight where you're good. You know, quit looking for the knockout bonus at night, same price as the submission bonus at night. That's the way I look at it. You know, it's the fight of the night. And to go out there, I swear, it just seems like people are fighting for the bonus. And that's fine, but like I said, the same bonus for subbing a guy. So when you see guys, 2 jiu-jitsu guys or 2 wrestlers just go out and stand toe-to-toe and bang till someone falls, I just think it's dumb, and it's definitely changed the way people fight. You know, they're fighting for judges' points now. Guys are planning on 5-round fights. They're training for a 5-round fight. They're training to pick it up in the 4th round. Well, fuck, man. I'm training to finish you in the 1st round, but not to pick up the pace in the championship rounds. I don't even want to be in the championship rounds. You know, so I don't know. It just changed a lot.
You're preaching to the choir.
What's that?
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, yeah. So October 6th, 6 weeks from now, is my last fight. I'm fighting for the King of the Cage title, my 4th one. I'll be the only 4-time King of the Cage champ. And Joe and Dean had told me if I had 1 or 2 more fights that I could get back in the UFC. So that's why I fought a couple times and no phone call. And Joe told me they had other people in line. So I was retiring in my last fight, and King of the Cage offered me a title fight. So I figure, you know, for my schools here in Texas, it's been awesome. I've been fighting at the WinStar Casino in Oklahoma. It's like 45 minutes from my school. And so all my current new students here in Texas have got to see me fight, got to see the whole deal, and now I'm going to finish it up on the 6th for a title fight and call it a day.
So good luck with that, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I'm really excited about it. It's funny, at 40 years old, I'm for sure in the best physical shape of my life. And, you know, I used to get so nervous and sick walking out to my fights because, like, anxiety, man, because all my students were there, and I used to hate it. And my last couple fights, just walk out smiling, enjoying it, and all my students are there, my kids are there watching, and it's been really cool.
So, looking back through your career right now, what do you think is the most defining moment of your career for BJJ and MMA?
For BJJ, not. I'm literally, when this fight's over, I'm gonna start training for the Worlds and all those big tournaments, because I've never trained for a grappling tournament. I've done, I think, only like 11 or 12 actual matches, and I didn't train specifically for Abu Dhabi because it was short notice. I didn't train for any of the tournaments I've done. I just kind of went in and did them because my jiu-jitsu was good, but I didn't train to compete in one specifically. And it's definitely different training, especially, man, there's the same guys, or not the same guys, but the same type of guys. There's career jiu-jitsu guys, career competitors in jiu-jitsu that know how to fight for points, know how to win jiu-jitsu matches. So you definitely have to train for that, and I definitely, when this fight's over, I want to compete, because in the men's division too, not in the masters division, just because I'm 40, because I still feel, I have guys that come in my school who are black belts from other places that I just run through, and it excites me because I know I can still do it in tournaments. So I haven't had huge moments jiu-jitsu wise, because Abu Dhabi I got invited to do, and my first match was Marcelo Garcia. So speaking of career jiu-jitsu guys, it sucked, and I knew it was going to happen. So I'm excited to do that. MMA wise, I've had a lot. Just fighting in the UFC all the way back in UFC 16 against Miletich. I fought for the first UFC lightweight title. I fought for the first Pride Bushido fight, the first lightweight fight, and I won that. Actually won that twice in one night. Knocking out Antonio McKee was awesome. That was like a highlight of my highlight fight-wise. And then my favorite fight is my Gomi fight. I lost the decision to Gomi, but it was my favorite, most exciting match as far as fights go. And I loved fighting in Japan. They really took care of you, and the fans were awesome there, and it's just been cool.
Who do you think was your toughest opponent you've ever fought in both sports?
Well, obviously Marcelo in jiu-jitsu, because I've only lost 3 matches, I think, in jiu-jitsu, and one was against him, one was against Mark Lehman, who was at that time, 40, 50 pounds more than me, and I had fought MMA the night before in Illinois, and I flew back and fought him for, a Grapplers Quest. And then I lost on points to a guy, Scott Bieri, in Naga. So Marcelo's definitely the best guy, that way. As far as MMA goes, I believe, going back, I took a lot of fights because I needed the money at the time. I took a lot of fights on short notice because, trying to help out the promoter, trying to do whatever. And I lost fights that I believe I could have won. But there's also fights that I think at the time I didn't know enough to win, and Pat Miletich is one of them. I was a jiu-jitsu guy. Jiu-jitsu was my strength, and I was a blue belt. I was fighting in the UFC, and jiu-jitsu was my thing, and I was a blue belt. And so that tells you, I wasn't like I was a pro boxer with a blue belt jiu-jitsu. I was just a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and that was it. And so he was really tough because he fought smart. He always had a game plan. He made you fight his fight and made it very difficult to do anything else. So he was, as far as tough opponents, he was definitely my toughest opponent to beat. And then other than that, I don't know. I fought. Gomi was a tough fight, but it was fun. It wasn't like I got beat up at all in that fight. It was just a good back and forth battle. So almost every other fight I had, besides maybe I don't know. Going back to say there was someone I fought that I couldn't beat, I couldn't give you a name of someone who I definitely thought I couldn't beat. I just I lost decisions to some bigger, stronger wrestlers, and I didn't work enough on wrestling back then, and that's all I've worked on now. I've improved so much on getting up, getting back to my feet so I can get on top, sweeping, and I worked on that so much after losing my decision to Gil Castillo in UFC 35. Even Gomi, I got on top of Gomi. He had never been taken down before, and I took him down 4 times because that's when I really started working on my wrestling. So, I don't know. Pat, I guess, would be my toughest fight just because it was so early on in my career. I had three fights, and I think he was my 4th fight, and it was his like 24th fight. You know, so experience-wise, he was definitely up on me there.
Nice. So, talking about you competing, I'm pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of like I like the watching the world and seeing who's in the divisions and what the matches are. But I believe, I'm not sure. I thought I saw your name to compete in the Ultimate Absolute for the lightweight.
Yeah, the guy asked me if I would do it, and I told him I'd get back to him. And the next day it was on there, and everyone was asking. I never even talked to the guy a second time. So it was. It took place, correct?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure. Man, to be honest, and I feel stupid when I do it. Like, I do all my DVDs and stuff, and I go to Budo Videos to film my DVDs, and they ask me about this guy and that guy, and I don't know who's good at tournaments. I don't know big names just because I do not follow it at all. I have some students that follow it a lot, but I don't. But I am now going to start following it so that when I start competing, I can, you know, I barely knew who Marcelo was when we fought, but my buddy, who I brought with me, was a big fan of his, and he was just like, oh, shit, when we drew the name. And he's like, well, don't let him get on your back. Don't let him get on your back. Don't let him get on your back. It was always like, don't let him arm drag you. And I was like, fuck, you know, okay. But he had me more nervous for the match than anything because I didn't, you know, I don't, like I said, I don't watch other people's DVDs and learn about them. So I haven't watched enough, but they're always asking me when I do my videos, you know so-and-so, you know so-and-so. I'm like, no, I don't. And it's not because I don't respect them. I just don't. I got so much other stuff going on. I don't sit around watching other videos and stuff, you know.
So to keep in top shape and physically and obviously mentally, do you incorporate strength and conditioning into your regime now?
Striking?
No, strength and conditioning.
Oh, yeah. I always worked out a bit. And I don't lift weights. I haven't lifted weights since probably, I don't know, if I've been training for 18 years, it's probably been about 20 years since I lifted weights, 19 years. But I do plyometrics, I cycle, I swim, I do medicine ball stuff, push-ups, pull-ups, but I don't, I look like a bodybuilder still, basically, you know, just because, like, if I start lifting weights, I'll move right up into the next weight class. I grow real fast because of my bodybuilding background. But I definitely do conditioning. I swim a lot. I swam 2 miles the other day, and people called the police on me because I was drowning because I was slamming a lake. But I swim a lot. I cycle a lot, and I just, you know, do my training here. But I'm in good physical condition for sure. I'm lucky to be athletic, you know, and it hurts a lot of people who are real athletic because they work less, you know, they don't work as hard because they're athletic, and I was able to apply hard training to my athleticism, and that helped me a lot.
So, so far you've got your own school, and you've fought MMA and jiu-jitsu. You have Nogi Industries, is that correct?
I sold that. Budo Videos actually owns that.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Oh, we didn't know.
No, it's good. I opened that, grew it for quite a while, and then sold it to them for the same reasons. Like, they had more money to put into it because they had more time, you know, and I was doing so many other things that it was not doing what I wanted to do because I was putting in time. Like, my son raced motocross, so I was traveling all over the United States and spending money, you know, doing all that with him, at time with him, and not putting in enough time and effort. And it was just me. You know, me and my wife were running that company, basically. And so it was struggling. And when they offered to buy it, I was all over it just because I knew they would do something really good with it, and they have.
Nice. Is it true you coined the term Nogi?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure other people said, you know, Nogi, whatever. But when I first started taking the gi off to train, my buddy Jeremy, who I actually started the company with, was the one who said, "Hey, you know, since you don't wear the gi, let's call it Nogi." And we were this was like 2 years before we even started the company, and just started. I had it on my first place in '98. It was Next Generation MMA Nogi Jiu-Jitsu classes, and it was always Nogi, 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 and all the Brazilians when they were. I used to get so much shit for not being affiliated with a Brazilian, and then for not wearing the gi. And we used to have so many debates on the UG and stuff just because I was I always had a valid argument for it, but theirs was, well, look at Marcelo, or look at Fabio Gurgel, all these guys trained in the gi. I was like, okay, well, they trained in the gi, but if they did not ever train in the gi, but they still trained jiu-jitsu all that time, they would still be good. You know, you can't say it's because they trained in the gi, because they did. If they didn't, you know, it would be a different story, but they already were good at jiu-jitsu, period. You know, they were already good at jiu-jitsu, so it was, whether it was jiu-jitsu in the gi or jiu-jitsu without the gi, they didn't have too much to change to be good at it without the gi. And it was just, you know, you go around and around with everybody about that, but I'm a firm believer in Nogi.
Was it hard back in the day when you take your gi off as a purple and you said, screw this, I'm doing it myself? Was it actually hard to explain to people what you wanted to do or to find training partners?
No, when I opened my first school, it was all Nogi. We had no gis in classes. I had no gi classes and nothing. It was all Nogi. And as guys started coming in to train with me, like Jeremy Williams, he was my first black belt, but he came in, he was 17 years old, and we just started training. And unlike many, many instructors at the time, I was showing everything I knew. I wanted good training partners, fast, and I was showing everything. I wasn't holding anything back, and I was just trying to make guys good real fast. And, you know, it started happening. Everyone started getting real good fast. I was having guys, you know, blue belts in 4 months that were tapping purple belts regularly in tournaments. You know, Russ Mira is a guy who owns Subfighter now, but he was a purple belt from me and tapping out black belts at the Abu Dhabi trials and at Grapplers Quest, you know, with Nogi, because they were learning it from the beginning. And he was 40-0 before he went to Abu Dhabi the same year as me as an alternate. He lost on 2 points to Jeff Glover. But he, you know, just guys like that were learning from scratch without the gi, never putting it on, and it was really showing on some of those guys. You definitely don't have to train in it to get good. But yeah, it was tough at the beginning. I had to start with guys from scratch and have them catch up as quick as possible, just so I could have some good training partners.
For sure. You're also talking to the biggest gi lover ever, by the way.
And the biggest no-gi lover.
Oh, yeah? No-gi clothes or no-gi training?
I love the gi more than anything for training. But my other host here, Jared, there's two of us, by the way, if you didn't know, if it sounded kind of weird. But,
okay.
Yeah, I love the gi. He doesn't. So everything you say, he's like nodding his head like, I know.
Something causing drama in the household. But you compete in the gi?
Absolutely.
So then you need to train in the gi.
Yeah.
But if you had no interest in training in the gi and you had interest in training in Nogi, you wouldn't put on the gi to get good at your Nogi.
I hear what you're saying. This is the circle starts, right?
Yeah, I know, but I always have a valid argument, and then everyone stops talking.
I do. If I'm gonna go do a no-gi tournament, you know, I should be. I take the kimono off, and it gets real fast. It's fun. It is fun. I'm not gonna lie. I love both. I'm just saying, I love the gi more. Obviously, I'm just biased.
I like the speed factor.
Yeah, but it's fun to watch at the highest level. As far as there's like a 3-to-1 sub ratio when there's no gi on at the black belt level. It's entertaining from a spectator point.
I can't wait to start competing, to be honest with you. I'm excited to start doing tournaments.
I honestly think when I saw your name posted for the Ultimate Absolute, I guess it shouldn't have been posted, but when I saw it, I was actually telling people, like, I was calling you to, like, rip some arms off. I'm not lying. I was telling people, like, I couldn't believe, like, I haven't seen much on you since the ADCC, and that was, like, a long time ago. So I was actually pumped because your Kimura series just came out, and I was like, man, he's gonna rip some people's arms off. So
I was. That's why I want to compete. It really takes guys quite a while to get used to my style. Like, if someone comes into our school, you know, I've had some pretty good black belts from other places come into the school, and I'm doing stuff what's basic to my blue belts because they see me teach it every day, and these guys are just like, whoa, what was that? How'd you control? How'd you do that? You know, how'd you do that? And I'm like, it's my style. It's my stuff that I teach every day, and I use it every day. We went to Naga this year. My school had been open for 6 months, and we went to Nogi this year. And I told these guys when we went there, I said, there is not going to be one guy here at the tournament that's better than you in the 0 to 6 month division. I promise you. These are all guys who started with me 6 months ago. And we showed up with 25 guys and took 18 gold medals and 25 total medals. Every person medaled, but 18 of them were gold. And everyone was just blown away. We went to the next tournament, only 10 guys came, 10 gold medals. And then this weekend I went with my kids, and we competed at the F7 thing, the Herb Dean's and Josh Rosenthal's tournament, which is, by the way, the best well-run tournament you'll ever go to. And every person that we went, gold medal.
Wow.
So I'm pretty pumped for the Nogi divisions.
If you could give an advice to Nogi grapplers, what would it be? Just, pretty
Come to Next Generation MMA and let me teach you how to tear arms off.
Okay, I'm coming.
Nice. Do you have any?
I don't know. Like like Marcelo said something, made a statement a while back that he doesn't like the Kimura because it's a strength move, and it is absolutely not a strength move. If you do it the way I do it, it is super tight, and I use my weight, and I use it's super tight, and it's not a strength move. Like Frangina was my partner in a seminar that I just taught recently in my brother's school at the Next Generation in Orange County. And when I grabbed a hold of his arm to start teaching the first one, he looked up at me with bug eyes and was like, holy shit. And every time I taught something, he was so awesome and so humble. He would come over after I used him as a dummy to show it on. He would come over to me and say, can you show it again on this guy so he can see it? And then he would call me over and ask me to adjust it. It was a really good high-level black belt asking me, how to fix it and to tighten up like I was doing it to him. And it's different, man, and I'm not using strength. I'm submitting guys, I have good 250, 260-pound guys. Man, first of all, people are fucking huge in Texas. In California, I never had anybody above 185. Here, I don't have anybody under 205. There's so many big guys, but I usually come on everybody. Big guys, small guys, really good guys. And just the way I set it up and the way I lock onto it, I trap it like the Kimura trap system. I shouldn't have said that. I probably just sold him 10 DVDs, that fucker.
No, because everyone's got the King of the Kimura series, that's why, so don't worry.
Yeah, it's all on there. I mean, I got more stuff, more Kimura stuff that I do in training. I could keep coming out with a new DVD every 2 months because I start, adding more stuff to it. I use it in training, and I'm like, oh, wow, that worked really good. Let's move on and do that. So I could keep adding stuff on if I just actually have a website that will be coming out by the end of the month. And it's me and all my brothers. I have 5 brothers, but 4 of them are training, 2 brown belts, purple belt, and a blue belt, and then my 2 boys, my 2 sons. And we are, I have a Brennan Brothers Jiu-Jitsu.com, and we're going to be daily adding videos, competition videos, daily techniques, filming my classes, and lots of really cool stuff on this thing. So I'll look for that at the end of the month. BrennanBrosJJ.com.
That sounds amazing. Any other things you want to plug before the show ends?
No, just my schools, man. Next Generation MMA. The website's just that, nextgenerationmma.com. I just, I have 2 brothers that are brown belts that are about to be black belts by the end of the year. Another brother that's a purple who will be brown by the beginning of the year. I want to be the next Gracie family, but in MMA and Nogi Jiu-Jitsu. My 2 boys coming up, they're going to be teaching techniques on this site for kids to watch and stuff. They're really good, and I just want to blow things up, man. I'm opening a second school on Monday in Waco, Texas, 30,000 square foot place. I just want to, I'm going to come out with another clothing company down the line here because just because. But I got a lot going on. Busy.
With all that, I guess everything is bigger in Texas, man. 30,000 square feet. That's ridiculous.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And I'm expanding my headquarters school, the one I teach at full time. We're actually expanding into an 8,000 square foot place across the street that's beautiful, upstairs, downstairs, octagon, like done up first class.
That's good. I mean, congratulations. That's good to hear for you. Wish you all the best. And I just want to say thanks thanks for coming on and doing this radio show with us.
I appreciate you guys asking me. It was awesome, and I apologize for last week. I got messed up with East Coast and Texas time, and I'll be back on anytime you want. And maybe after my fight, we can hit it up again.
That sounds good. Yeah, don't worry about that. It was all good. It gave us more anticipation. Just so you know, me and Jared here, we were always big fans of yours, so it was nice that you actually responded on Twitter and said, let's do this. So thanks for doing that.
Cool. Thank you guys very, very much, and I'll talk to you soon, and make sure you take off the gi.
Absolutely. Good luck with your fight.
All right, see you guys.
Booyah. So that was sick.
I like that. He was cool.
Dude,
cool dude.
Easy to talk to, man. I love it. I still love the gi, but he makes some valid points. I'll tell you that much. So next week we'll have another great episode. Remember, iTunes, go download our stuff. Remember to go check out Stitcher Radio. Our Facebook, guys, BJJ Addict, man. We are like 5 away from 1,000 likes. So get over there and like our goddamn page. And then go like FightFans Radio page. Twitter, follow us. Real DWC, Jerwell, P, BJJ Addict Radio. Check us out on there. We're always asking cool questions. Did you ask a new question?
I did.
What was it? Put it out there so people know.
Who would you rather train with? It was either Wilson Hayes or Jeff Glover.
And I give you a double middle fingers, a big FU, because I don't want to pick. This is what people, when they read this, they're going to be like, damn, fuck. Out of all the 2 people you could have picked.
So far, Jeff Glover is in the run. So.
Yeah, but, I don't know. I'm not going to say who I train with on air, so that's all good. Also, thanks again, man. Brought to you by FightFans Radio. We taking over, like DJ Khaled said. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Next week, another big show. Me and Jerry are going to kill it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang tight.
Hang tight.